This presentation provides an update on the status of the Army's groundwater cleanup activities at the former Fort Ord. For reference, this is a list of terms frequently used when we talk about groundwater at the former Fort Ord. This is a geologic cross-section of the aquifer system in the northern part of former Fort Ord. The blue arrows show the direction of groundwater flow in the aquifers. This cross-section is shown on upcoming slides with the part of the cross-section being discussed shaded. This map shows the current and historical maximum extents of chemical of concern or COC plumes in the various aquifers at the former Fort Ord. The shaded areas represent the historical maximum COC plume extents, typically before groundwater cleanup activities started. The solid lines represent the COC plumes as of September 2025 and show how much they have shrunk in size because of the Army's remediation efforts. Aquifer cleanup levels, or ACLs, are typically reported in micrograms per liter or parts per billion. 1 microgram per liter is equivalent to 1 penny in $10 million, or 1 second in 32 years. Operable Unit 1, or OU1, has no solid line because the Army has completed TCE groundwater cleanup there. The Marina Coast Water District provides drinking water at the former Fort Ord that meets all state and federal standards. Consumer confidence reports are available at the link shown at the bottom of the slide. Since the two operating groundwater treatment systems at the former Fort Ord started in the 1990s, over 13 billion gallons of groundwater have been treated and over 1,500 pounds of COCs have been removed. The shaded area on this map depicts the maximum historical extent of trichloroethene, or TCE, in the A aquifer at Operable Unit 2, or OU2, and the solid line represents the current TCE plume extent. The size of the plume and the concentrations of TCE continue to be reduced with groundwater extraction and treatment. The shaded area depicts the maximum historical extent of TCE in the upper 180-foot aquifer at OU2, and the solid line represents the current TCE plume extent. The size of the plume and the concentrations of TCE continue to be reduced with groundwater extraction and treatment. This map depicts the historical maximum extents for both tetrachloroethene, or PCE, and TCE at Sites 212. As of September 2025, the TCE plume has been cleaned up and the PCE plume, shown by a solid purple line, continues to be reduced. The Army's investigations found PCE and TCE in the soil gas in the unsaturated zone above the groundwater. The Army implemented additional remedial actions, which included soil vapor extraction and treatment, to remove PCE and TCE from the unsaturated zone. As of September 2025, there were no COCs above soil gas cleanup levels in the unsaturated zone. The shaded area on this map depicts the maximum historical extent of carbon tetrachloride, or CT, in the A aquifer at Operable Unit Carbon Tetrachloride Plume, or OUCTP, and the solid line represents the current CT plume extent. The remedy for OUCTP in the A aquifer is enhanced in situ bioremediation. Since 2008, there have been 7 EISB deployments throughout the OUCTP area in the A aquifer. The bioremediation is a natural process to clean up chemicals in the environment. Naturally occurring microbes in the groundwater can digest the CT and change it into harmless gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane. The shaded area depicts the maximum historical extent of CT in the upper 180-foot aquifer at OUCTP, and the solid line represents the current CT plume extent. The remedy for the upper 180-foot aquifer is groundwater extraction and treatment, and the extraction well for OUCTP, shown on the map, is connected to the OU2 groundwater treatment system. As indicated by the map, this remedial strategy has been very successful in reducing the size of the CT plume. The blue shaded area depicts the maximum historical extent of CT in the lower 180-foot aquifer at OUCTP, and the solid blue line represents the current CT plume extent. This map also shows the extent of TCE in the lower 180-foot aquifer, which the Army is developing a remedy for. There is no current plume in the area of the Marina Municipal Airport. However, the natural gap in the intermediate 180-foot aquitard has allowed CT to migrate from the upper 180-foot aquifer to the lower 180-foot aquifer, south of Reservation Road. The Army has completed additional work on the groundwater extraction and treatment remedy for the upper 180-foot aquifer to prevent this from happening. The remedy for CT in the lower 180-foot aquifer is monitored natural attenuation, which was selected because concentrations of CT were already very low and because this aquifer is very deep and groundwater flows relatively fast. Other types of remedies are difficult or impossible to implement. For additional information about the Army's cleanup programs at the former Fort Ord, check the sources listed here.